Tonight, proceeding with caution, Montana's governor says a spike in coronavirus cases is a good reminder to remain vigilant. Plus, suit settled, but the quest for justice continues for the family of a slain member of the Crow Reservation. And later, high school athletes who could use a lift head back to the weight room.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 5:30 News from Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Tim McGonigal reporting first at 5:30 as Montana sees a statewide spike in the number of COVID-19 cases. Governor Steve Bullock said it's a reminder people still need to be taking steps to limit the spread of the disease. Montana has reported 69 new cases in the last week. Bullock said many of those cases have been in clusters from a single household or workplace, and a number have also been tied to out-of-state travel. Bullock said he's not considering adding any statewide restrictions at this time, but he asked all individuals and businesses to continue efforts like social distancing and sanitizing, and said he strongly is encouraging people to wear masks when distancing isn't possible.
We all have to commit to doing more to slow the spread of this virus in the coming months. We don't want to be taking steps backwards. After how far we've come in successfully maintaining the lowest number of cases in the nation.
Bullock also announced a new loan deferment program to assist businesses that have been hurt by COVID-19. It will allow businesses to delay payments on their existing loans to free up additional funding. The state will put $125 million towards the program. Meanwhile, the state added 20 new cases of coronavirus today, including one we told you about last night in Cascade County. Right now, Montana has 82 active cases of COVID-19 with 5 people hospitalized. The southern part of the state is still seeing the highest numbers, with Custer County now reporting 19 active cases. At this point, more than 65,000 tests have been administered. 20 people have died from the virus. Lewis and Clark County currently has 4 active cases of COVID-19. All are related cases discovered earlier this month that showed up after 8 weeks with no new cases. MTN's Alexi Aguayo spoke with public health leaders to update us on the virus in the community.
What we're seeing is specific to the reopening strategy. We knew that when we came out of, when we started to reopen, we anticipated and understood that we would start to see some new cases. And that's just exactly what's happening.
Eric Merchant and Public Health expected the new cases within Lewis and Clark County, but don't have estimates on how many more cases the area might see the next few weeks.
I think it would be pretty easy to see that we're going to see that caseload continue to increase. And again, it gets down to the idea that we need to manage that caseload and those contacts.
When it comes to caseload, Eric says it is up to us, the community, to help manage it by following the health guidelines like wearing a mask and staying 6 feet apart. Eric says phase 3 is still a way to go, even though 4 new cases doesn't sound like a lot.
It's just not, we're not there yet. We're still having a lot of concern around compliance and understanding the directives and why they're important. Also, seeing the increase in cases, while 4 is not a lot, we have seen additional contacts with some of these cases. We have to be able to manage this situation from all angles before we're ready to move into phase 3. And we're just, from the health department's perspective, we're nowhere near there.
In Helena, I'm Alexi Aguayo, MTM News.
Public Health says if things worsen, they may need to implement more tracing services and education and outreach for the virus. Lewis and Clark County has had a total of 20 cases since the virus was first found in Montana back in March. Well, the Food and Drug Administration has a reminder for pet owners. It put out this new video with some ways to keep animals safe from the coronavirus. There have been a few cases of animals getting sick from humans, so the FDA says social distancing rules should apply to pets too. It suggests limiting the number of people your pets come into contact with and avoiding places like dog parks. The family of a man killed on the Crow Reservation has decided to settle their decade-long lawsuit accusing the FBI of providing unequal law enforcement for Native Americans. Stephen Bearcrane was shot and killed by a co-worker. His family claims the FBI agent who worked on the case assumed the shooting had been self-defense and didn't do a proper investigation. They filed suit in federal court, claiming the FBI treated cases involving Native Americans differently. As part of the settlement, the family says they will meet with federal officials to share their concerns about law enforcement services on reservations. Bear Crane's mother says despite settling their suits, they will continue to push for justice in his case.
What we wanted from the very beginning was a reinvestigation. That was the only thing we wanted way back. Going down this new path, there's a better chance of getting that done than continuing through court.
The family also plans to start an organization to provide help to other Native families that have gone through similar experiences. Turning now to Fire Watch, the Lump Gulch fire in Jefferson County is now 35% contained, according to fire leaders. And the fire is just now over 1,000 acres. 131 crew members are currently fighting that fire. Power lines sparked the fire around 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon. It grew quickly because of strong winds. Well, good news for firefighters and many of us in Montana. We've seen a good bit of rain today. It's helping with our deficit so far this year. Our Storm Tracker weather team is here to tell us more. For more on that, we head on over now to Grant Garland. Grant?
All right, well, good evening, Tim, and good evening, everybody. You are exactly right. We have seen a lot of rain, which has really helped us in our deficit, especially for those down towards Helena. Right now, since midnight, we have seen almost a quarter of an inch here in the Electric City. Head on down towards the capital, seeing almost a half an inch. As you head on up towards Glasgow, though, we are looking at shyer accumulations at around just over a tenth of an inch of rain. But take a look at this. Okay, Glasgow, you guys are getting hammered right now with rain, which is good. We all need it, and we're going to really zoom in here. A lot of heavy downpours around close to Opheim, as well as Whitewater getting in on the action. Glasgow, Wolf Point, Scobie. This is just fantastic news. And as we head on down towards our neck of the woods, Stanford getting in on a good dose of rain. White Sulphur Springs towards the west looking at heavier downpours. Nyhart and Helena just seeing a few sprinkles. So far, we are looking at still under 3/10 of an inch of rain, but it's better than yesterday when we were just under, we were looking at around a quarter, we were looking at 3/4 of an inch of rain. That's the word there. And we're going to take this on and we're going to break it down even more in the next couple of minutes. But for now, Tim, I'm going to send it back to you, sir.
All right, thanks a lot, Grant. Well, like the last few springs and summers, grizzly bears continue to pop up on plains east of the Rockies, even as far as Big Sandy this year. Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks says that's to be expected. According to FWP, the grizzly bear population in the Northern Continental Divide ecosystem is increasing at 2.3% a year. The expanding population is actually occurring in all directions, but conflict east of the Rockies is more noticeable because of the number of farms and ranches. Bear management specialist Wesley Sarmento says every year is different depending on conditions, but since grizzlies are protected, hazing and other preventative measures like electric fences are the best way to handle the expanding populations right now.
This year has certainly been busy, and we probably have more bears this year than we've ever had since they've been a protected species. We've tried to change our approach as bears have been moving out to be a lot more proactive, trying to prevent conflicts from occurring, trying to have quick responses, trying to get out whenever there's a bear sighting, trying to get out and haze that bear before it even comes near people to proactively teach it to be afraid of people.
Well, wherever they wander, grizzly bears are sovereign. They cast broad impacts over the plant and animal communities with which they share habitat, and that includes an impact on humans. And recently, a video of a grizzly charging a car when she felt her cubs were threatened has gone viral. MTN's Tanner Saul has the story.
Yo, dude. Oh my god.
A video of a grizzly sow charging a car has gone viral.
We cut it really close.
But this video brings a strong educational element to human impacts on wildlife. Calvin Barrett is a professional skier from Denver who took the video in the Beartooth.
Couldn't really believe it at first. I was like a little naive to how intense it was because it all happened so quick.
Barrett received lots of criticism and suggestions of how he handled the situation and recognized that this was not a respectful wildlife viewing practice.
Because of the criticism, I thought it was important to kind of update the post and let people know what I had learned from others online, at least telling me hey, that's not exactly the best way to go about it, or saying I was invading their space a bit, which, looking back, makes perfect sense.
As the country's human population continues to rise, development is not slowing down. The increase of leisure time and greater mobility has combined to promote the use of outdoor areas of every description. This results in what is known as habitat fragmentation. The video shows a distressed cub crying as it gets stuck at a barrier, expressing the fragility of wildlife as they try to navigate through islands of habitat cut off by roads and development. This was a rare circumstance, but Barrett expresses how this can now be used as a learning opportunity to educate others.
With the advice for other people in that situation, I don't know how many people are going to be in that situation in the future, but generally speaking, you know, it's important for humans to give wildlife their space out there because that's their home. We're definitely more of like, we're the visitor.
Yo, dude.
In Missoula, Tanner Saul, MTN News.
Well, there's some welcome news for ranchers along the Highline. Details on efforts to fix a major water source when the news continues.
We are
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 530 News continues on Montana's News Leader.
Welcome back. The Milk River is the lifeline for Montana's Highline, providing irrigation water to 110,000 acres and drinking water for communities like Havre, Chinook, Harlem, and Malta. But on May 17th, the concrete drop structure failed on the St. Mary Canal northwest of Cutbank, putting these Highline producers and residents in jeopardy of losing their water. But as the Montana Ag Network's Russell Nemitz reports, repairs are about to begin to keep the water flowing.
The Milk River Joint Board of Control, along with the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation and Montana DNRC, have agreed to begin replacement of the failed Drop 5 structure on the St. Mary's diversion. Another drop structure, Drop 2, is considered at risk for failure and will also be replaced. These repairs will help to ensure that the Milk River will continue to serve Montana's Highline with water.
I would love to say we are going to add to the irrigation season, but essentially we're looking at next year and that storage and that carryover. And if we have the opportunity to move water at the end of the season and get it across, we're just in a better spot in Fresno starting the year next year.
She says they're also very thankful for Montana's congressional delegation, which continues to fight for funding to repair the entire structure, which is over 100 years old.
Senator Chester Daines and Congressman Gina Forte have been there saying we need this, but it's been falling on deaf ears, the farm and ranch need and why it's so needed. And I think people are seeing that now with its failure, as we're sitting here saying, you know, cities and towns might be out of water, and you know, all of these other factors that factor into it that have become a beneficial use.
And she says the Milk River truly is the lifeline of Montana's Highline.
You know, agriculture forms the underpinning of this economy here, and without this water source, we're in a bad spot.
In Billings, Russell Nemitz, MTN News.
And repairs are set to start on June 22nd. Well, on Monday, the Teton County Health Board denied a proposal from the Shodo Rodeo Committee to host the 75th Annual American Legion Rodeo on Independence Day due to COVID-19 concerns. And while it's disappointing for rodeo fans, it's potentially devastating for the Shodo community. The rodeo is the primary fundraiser for the American Legion Post 6. Without proceeds from that, they won't be able to support many community causes.
But a lot of the children's stuff there and the kids' stuff in Shodo, we may not be able to help them out anymore with what we're going to do. If we don't have a fundraiser at all this year, you know, we're going to be hurting for a lot of the donations and a lot of the philanthropy that we do on a yearly basis.
Collins said that some community members in Shodo are setting up a bank account and a GoFundMe page to help the Legion raise funds to continue serving Teton County.
Well, going throughout the next 12 hours, we're going to be looking at a good chance of showers, except for here around 6 and midnight. And then for our friends down toward Helena, we're looking at a better chance for showers and thunderstorms. I'll look at your full 7-day forecast coming up after this break.
Thanks.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you have had a fantastic Wednesday. It is hump day. We are one day closer to Friday, so I'm thankful for that. Looking at a lot of rain for folks in our area, especially in Glasgow. I mean, just take a look at this. This is this huge mass that stretches all the way from Canada, Opine, all the way down towards Jordan and out towards Wolf Point, getting in a lot of moderate to heavy showers, and we desperately need this. Also, kind of getting back down to our neck of the woods, we're seeing rain extending from Deer Lodge all the way out towards Stanford with a few lightning strikes. Looking at White Sulphur Springs getting in on some action, and also Stanford out towards Lewistown with a few lightning strikes there. So this is great for us. We need the rain. 52 degrees right now in Great Falls, down towards Helena, 52. A little bit warmer out at Fort Benton at 63, as well as in Cutbank at 60 degrees. Elsewhere, we're looking at 60 in Glasgow, 67 in Kalispell, and down towards, let's see, Jordan, 59 degrees. Now, today's high in Great Falls did get up to around 61 degrees. 13 degrees, though, below the average for this time of year. The record set back in 1961 when it was 97 degrees. Also the year that Disney's 101 Dalmatians came out. That's a classic, right? I think so. Now for our friends in Helena, today's high to get up to 54 degrees, almost 20 degrees below the average. The record set back in 1986 when it was 97 degrees. The reason why we're looking at our weather that we're seeing is because of the low pressure around 3 miles high in the atmosphere that is allowing for this counterclockwise rotation of showers, and it's just going to continue to dump rain on us. We're expecting possibly 1 to 1.5 inches of rain in some locations, all thanks to this low pressure that is going to continue to move towards the northeast. Now, as we go throughout the next several hours, by around 10 p.m., we're still going to be looking at scattered showers and maybe a thunderstorm or two. Glasgow starts to see the rain really push off towards the north. Heading throughout the night to around 5:30 in the morning, we're going to see increases in showers coming back down towards the electric and capital city. You're going to need to probably have not only the umbrella in the morning, but also give yourself a few extra minutes for that morning commute. We'll continue to see downpours, but then right around 6 p.m. tomorrow, we start to see a break in the clouds from Cutbank down to Great Falls out towards Glasgow. And as we head throughout the night, too, we're going to see the showers discontinue. But by around 6:30 in the morning, clouds are going to build back in, and we're going to see the potential for scattered showers and thunderstorms for us. Now, Havre is probably going to start to see the end of their rain by around Friday morning. How much rain could we be looking at, though, from now through midnight on Friday? Well, for the Great Falls area, almost over ½ an inch of rain down towards Helena, over 7/10 out towards Havre, almost 4/10 of an inch of rain. And these numbers have kind of gone down since about 2 hours ago when we were looking at higher amounts of precipitation. But the good news is we are still seeing our deficit decrease because of this rain. As far as our winds are concerned, well, we could be looking at 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts as we head into the next several hours. By tomorrow morning, looking at 30 to 40 miles an hour in Lewistown. For next week, the first week of summer, we're going to be looking at possibly staying a little bit warmer than what we usually are, as well as drier. So the more rain we get now, the better chance for the next week. Showers and thunderstorms through Friday, then we're going to see a nice break in the rain, at least for now. 75 degrees on the first day of summer and 78 for Father's Day. For our friends in Helena, we're going to be looking at rain showers Thursday as well as Friday with partly sunny skies, Tim, on Father's Day.
High school football players are eager to get back on the field, but first they're catching up on lost time in the weight room. We'll check in with some local teams next.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 5:30 news continues on Montana's News Leader.
High school football teams got the go-ahead to begin off-season workouts earlier this month, and as Tom Wiley shows us, both CMR and Great Falls High are taking full advantage of their time.
There's some urgency in the weight room this week. After a 3-month hiatus while facilities and meetings were shut down in the wake of COVID-19, high school football teams are making up for lost time.
When track season got canceled and all of spring sports got canceled, it was definitely kind of surreal, happened really fast, but I think the fact that we get to kind of get going on football and get to start lifting is really cool.
But it's not quite business as usual. The team is training in staggered sessions to limit group sizes and taking precautions while lifting.
We got to be 6 feet apart. We got to have only one lifting partner, and we got to wash everything right after we're done using it, just keeping everything safe.
Across town at CMR, the wrestlers are getting their first opportunity to work in person with new head coach Dennis Morris.
You know, we were all going a little stir crazy during the COVID, and we tried to start our workouts online, but our excitement was high to get started. And when they finally gave us the green light, you know, the kids couldn't wait to get out of the house, which is a phenomenal way to start our new program. They're getting here every morning, in 3 groups. They're showing up every day, smiles on their face, ready to go to work. It's been an exciting start.
The time away has helped the players learn not to take sports or a season for granted.
It's kind of funny, you know, like when we're at school, everybody's begging to go home, right? You don't want to be there, you don't want to be there. And then as soon as like the 3rd week hit, you're like, oh, please get me back to school. You want to be with everybody, you want to be around everybody, you know. So, yeah, it was definitely it was different. Had to adapt and everything and just move with roller coaster, you know. So,
but most of all, it's a small step toward normalcy for 2 teams that have high hopes for the fall.
The world needs sports. The world needs something that we can watch and enjoy and be participating in, and like working with, you know, these 25 kids in the morning. We need it. We just need it, and so it's slowly getting there. And I know we still have precautions, and I know there's still things we worry about, but you know, hopefully things will work in our favor.
Tom Wiley, MTN News.
And both teams are still planning to host youth camps in mid-July. We'll be back with a final look at weather after this.
Well, Tim, it's just going to be continuing to rain for the next 24 hours, so have that umbrella.
Yeah, turn on Eddie Rabbit, I Love a Rainy Night.
Exactly.
That's a great song for this time. All right, that's all the time we have. We'll see you back here tonight at 10.